Hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and we are back for another episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac, and this is season 10. This is episode 8, and it's called Pride and Pettiness. And this episode was good to me. Good to me. Oh my gosh. Like, Stacey and Wendy, that dynamic duel is sending me. They're bringing the laughter, the shade, all of it. And I'm so happy to see you, boo. Oh my God. I'm so happy to see you, boo. The way Stacey ate Kay and Cookie right up, a 2-for-1, just ate them right up and sent Cookie packing. Oh, it was sending me. I love it. I love it. I love it. And new development on new issues. We're starting to see how Stacey is beefing with everyone because, girl, Stacey do got her lying problem. Is it major lies or is it like white lies? I would say she has a little bit of a white lie problem. She does it a lot. And I think she does it to save face and to like get out of situations without being transparent. I ain't gonna hold you. Just we're gonna tell the truth and shame the devil, right? I'm an Aries too, right? I've been guilty of doing this a lot. Not in recent years, but when I was very anti-confrontational, instead of telling like the truth about something, or instead of having to go into long, strong details of why I'm not going somewhere or why I'm not going to be somewhere, I'll just make up something that was quick that will basically leave it where I didn't have to answer any additional questions. And I feel like that's a little bit what Stacey's doing, but she's getting caught every single time she does it. But I mean, let's be honest, a lot of us do it, right? Okay, whatever. Anyway, you already know. You already know what time it is. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this review, though. So first off, we pick up where we left off, where Kay decides to make it her business to like basically be messy and say, "Oh, so you don't know Chris? I mean, you don't know Monique? I thought you guys already knew each other." And so knowing that that's not what the story was. And also too, you're not even cool with her to be bringing all this up. And so Giselle's like, no, that's her knowing Chris. And then the thing is, after that, then she's like, yeah, I've hung out with Chris. I'm not dating him. And I think Kay thought she had the I gotcha moment, and like that's actually what Wendy was calling it in the after show. She was saying she is trying so hard to have a gotcha moment. And she was trying to have a gotcha moment with Wendy earlier on the season, and when she learned that Wendy was eating her up, that wasn't going to work. So now she's trying with Stacey. And Stacey, again, she's going. The thing is that I find really annoying, and yes, my light already went out. I'm going to probably need to change the setup yet again, is that I just find it very annoying that it just seems like that she is continuously trying to punch down. You know what? We're not going to do the light. We're not going to do this light. We'll switch in a second, but I just want to finish my point. So, but like, Kay just keeps doing this, and I just between Kay and Angel, I'm so done with them too. Like, I wanted to give Angel an additional chance, but she just is not meant to be on the show. She is not a good fit. We'll get more into why, because she was aggravating me this whole entire episode. But anyway, so all the ways when Kay brings all this up, everyone's side-eyeing her. And honestly, if I was Monique, I would definitely be side-eyeing Kay, because I'm just like, dude, you don't even know me, and you're bringing up this stuff. Which is really, that's another thing that's weird. She doesn't know Monique. She just met Monique right then and there. And now she's bringing up all these issues about her ex-husband. And Monique get paid it does. She's like, I mean, we've been divorced for 2 years, so whoever he's date is his business. That's not really. What else is going on? And then in the confessional, she was like, you know, as long as whoever he's dating, as long as they're good with my kids, doesn't really matter to me. You know, I've moved on, he's moved on. And it's just like, exactly. So it doesn't make any sense. And I'm at least glad this episode it wasn't Ashley. Ashley has finally let it go, but I think the reason why she's letting it go is she's not going to do that with Monique. With Monique actually being there. I think she really was just more or less using this as a way to get Monique in the door for it to make sense. I don't think she really was seriously harping on this thing because Ashley's moved on to another thing to nitpick Stacey about, because Stacey is two of these women's storyline and it is like pathetic. It's pathetic. She's clearly Kay's storyline. And it's just like, it's really annoying. But anyway, but yeah, I would definitely be side-eyeing if I was Monique, I would be side-eyeing Kay immediately, because I'm just like, girl, I don't even know you, and you're talking about my relationships as if you know me. Like, we're not even friends. That's weird. And then Monique said her response in her confessional. Not the 2-year thing she said right then and there, but like the kids thing she said in her confessional. And when I tell you, and I'm about to show you right now, this confessional look, 8 it down. I like this one better than that Wakanda look she had. This look with the chef's kiss. And honestly, to be fully transparent, now seeing that Monique is back on the show and seeing that she's giving the looks and everything else, what is Kay's purpose now on the show? Because I feel like for the longest we've been saying Kay with the beautiful gowns, but we got someone who brings it with the beautiful gowns and is an OG of this show back on the show. So why are you still here? That's kind of what I was thinking the whole entire time. But anyway, moving on. Better. Okay, so moving on. Sorry about the technical difficulties. This still isn't quite the lighting I wanted. I had it. I think I'm going to need to buy a cord. I'm going to need to buy a cord to fix it. Because what I was doing before, this is just a sidebar. I had my lighting plugged into my computer, and the USB for that, it's loose, and so it just keeps turning off. It doesn't really work. I've tried, I have more than one USB on my computer, but like it's just doing this. And you already know I have an older computer. Like I got this computer in 2020, and it's just already just like, and it's not like I didn't buy like a high processing type of deal. So I've already put good use to this computer already. But anyway, moving on. So Ashley at the same moment confronts, well, first Stacey's kind of flirting with Ashley about how she's looking. And I'm just like, what is everyone's fascination with Ashley dressed as a dude? She doesn't look like a dude. Like, it's not great drag for me. I don't think it's good drag king look. Like, she just looks like Ashley with a beard drawn on. That's it. Sorry, anyway, so Stacey's flirting a little bit with Ashley. Ashley's being weird about it, acting like she doesn't really like it when you're the most overly sexualized person on the show. So really, if she threw it at you, you would receive it because you're like that with everyone and everything because you're kind of a weirdo. Allegedly, I mean, according to what I've been seeing on my screen so far. So she's just only acting funny towards Stacey now because she wants to have an issue with Stacey. Anyway, so she mentions the canvas line, and Wendy is still somewhat defending Stacey with this canvas lying, and Tia is too a little bit, but Tia actually is shading her in the confessionals. We now understand why Tia's been shading her in the confessionals, by the way. We see what happens this episode, we get why. Because you've noticed so far on the show, Tia, to her face, has been pretty friendly towards Stacey. Has some shade here and there, you know, because you can tell she's kind of a little bit more on the side of the Giselle of it all. But she's been pretty much cordial and, you know, trying to get to know Stacey. Unlike Kay and, well, unlike Angel, who doesn't know how to get to know anyone. Anyway, so basically, Wendy's like, you know, if you're going to name this a certain way, I need you to say actually pronounce the word properly. And I forgot what the correct pronunciation is. I'm not even going to try it. But I love how the women were just calling it out, because we know how silly this storyline is, and her doing this canvas line and deciding to name it after a Nigerian word, and how crazy. And honestly, if it wasn't Stacey, we would find it, and it was someone that wasn't necessarily a fan favorite, we would find this kind of cringe. Let's be so for real. Because it is kind of appropriation if you think about it. Because, yeah, she found out on her ancestry test that she's Nigerian. So am I! Most Black Americans are. It's because of the slave trade. Most Black Americans have ancestry in Nigeria. That's like... But are we connected to the culture of Nigeria? No. We're not. And so Stacey trying to thrust upon us like just because now she knows her ancestry, that she's connected to the culture like that. It's like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. I mean, honestly though, I will say this. I have been trying to eat more Nigerian food now, since I know Nigerian food be hidden. It's really good. It's like really, really good. Like, I actually love African food in general. Like, and I'm just so annoyed that I'm so late to the party of having African food. I'm actually going to have some African food on Wednesday. I'm actually going to go to Senegalian restaurants. Not Senegalian, Sudanese. Sudanese. There we go. Anyway, so everyone laughs a little bit because of the fact that she is mispronouncing the word. And then after that, Angel starts to try to pile on. She's just like, yeah, it's given inauthentic. And she's saying this under her breath. Of course, she isn't saying it to her face, because she doesn't know how to confront anyone to their face. And she was like, out of nowhere, she's asked this random question. She's like, so what are you doing for the community with this? Is this all for profit? And Stacey gave her nothing, and I would have given her nothing too, because it's like, girl, you don't even have a rapport with me for you to be asking these questions. At least Tia had a reason to speak up because of Stacey using a Nigerian word. She had a reason to speak up. If it wasn't for that, I doubt Tia would have spoken up at all. And Kay's just a hater, so now why are you speaking up? It makes no sense. And so Stacey paid her dust, and also too, her questions didn't really land and really didn't do anything. Like, it wasn't gonna move the needle. It was just getting weird. Like, why are you trying to be literally all in her business? That's weird. And so then afterwards, we talk about they're getting ready to go on the float, and it's the GNA sponsored float. And why did Giselle not know that this was like a float that they were sponsoring? And Wendy, girl, you calling GNA a tax front? Is it your alleged multiple credit cards in front of something? I'm sorry. I'm trying not to do it. It's just, it was right there. some of her reads don't read the way they used to because of what we know now. It's like, girl, you telling yourself a little bit on the show. Like, what are we doing? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? But she did actually have a true valid point. What is GNA? Like, we went from a fashion line to a fitness line to like some fitness philanthropy of it all, and now they have a float at the World Pride Festival. Anyway, moving on. I'm blaming some of my issues on retrograde. It has to be retrograde. That's what it is, right? That's the reason why I'm having these issues. It's a retrograde. Anyway, moving on. So now they have the parade, and they're having a lot of fun, and Ashley's flirting with Kay, and that's kind of weird. It's weird. Because, honestly, Kay and Ashley having a friendship makes no sense at all. And side note, so Kay tries to call Wendy out and having alliances on the show. You being friends with Ashley is an alliance. Let's be so for real. So it's like, it's a lot of what Kay be saying. It's very much giving projection. You are projecting. And it's not landing with the audience. It's just giving cringe. And it's weird. I really hope this is Kay's last season because, child, she's just been nothing but a nuisance. Anyway, so then the ladies go ahead and go to like this like bar to get lunch afterwards, and after they did the flow of it all, and Giselle and Monique talk, and Monique's like, I wasn't, Giselle's like, it's actually really, really good to see you. And Monique's like, it's good to see you too. And Monique actually gives Giselle credit for some of the things that Giselle was saying about the relationship, because it turns out, in a weird way, Giselle was right all along. Like, the way she was presenting herself on this show was fake. It was a front when it comes to how great the relationship was going. Which, if anyone watched Love and Marriage Love and Marriage DC, which was a spinoff that was created around Monique and Chris, you found that out. That they weren't really how they were on Bravo was not really how things were going. And so Monique, in a weird way, I guess Monique was like lashing out at Giselle, for calling these things out because she was actually telling the truth. But Monique also does, open up about what was the last straw for her. And she was very specific about a certain thing. And the thing that she mentions, which it's important because it's part of this next whole thing that happens, is she was like, the final straw was, he would act a certain way after she would get, like, up until, she got him some, like, until they had sex, and then he would divert back to his old behavior. And this final straw, she was like, you will never be inside me ever again. And she basically was like, she basically said that, she felt like she was treated like a piece of meat towards the end. And I can get that. Like, it's giving, they're phoning in the motions and everything. And so that's kind of what she said for the most part. This specific part gets mentioned multiple times in this episode, and depending on who you believe, I don't know. We'll find out about that. We'll get to it, but I just wanted to specifically talk about that. And so, but Monique was like, honestly, me being on the show probably made the marriage last longer than it was going to. Which, I mean, I'm thinking that might be a good thing, right? I don't know. I don't remember if she got anything out of the divorce or not. Because I think after a certain amount of time you would, but who knows? So, well, anyway, that's kind of what happens here. And all the other women are pretty much, just listening in. And Tia was the one who actually asked what the final straw was. And everyone's listening in. And honestly, I'm kind of, when I was watching this thing, I was just annoyed at Kay for making it weird. Because now Stacey's listening to this, and this is the first time her meeting Monique. But like, it's now there's just a weirdness here because of what Kay did. I don't know if anyone else thought that, but I felt that way. But anyway, moving on. Also, that was like the last time we saw Monique this episode, but that doesn't mean she wasn't a subject line. She was a subject line throughout the rest of this episode. And child, anyway. So then we next see Angel and Bobby! House hunting. And sorry, I got that from I Am Raphael. Shout out to I Am Raphael from YouTube, because as soon as he said that and said it like that, I was like, now I'm thinking about Whitney Houston and being Bobby Brown and the way she would always call Bobby. She was like, Bobby! That's my interpretation of the late, great Miss Whitney Houston. Wasn't her finest moment, but I'm sorry, it was still funny. Anyway, so they're house hunting, and then she is still talking about this catfish situation. And she's still blaming it more on Wendy than she is on Giselle. And we find out why, because we're going to get this out the way. Because I'm so sick of Angel. I don't want to hear anything else about her. Later on, when the event happens, she goes to Giselle and talks about it again. And she's cool with Giselle because Giselle apologized. But you haven't even talked to Wendy about it for her to apologize or not apologize. And also, Angel is still sticking to the story that Wendy didn't say hi to her and pretty much paid her dust at the airport. And everything that she keeps saying, we have literally saw it is the opposite of what she is saying. None of these things are true. They're all lies. So it's like, girl, you just want to have an issue with Wendy. And the fact that you're dragging this out to try to have an issue with Wendy is pathetic. It's so pathetic. And so she's talking to her husband about it. And this is the other thing that's getting me when it comes to this Angel situation. You're talking to everyone but the person you have a problem with. Which tells me this, you really don't have a problem with her. If you really had a problem with her, you would have confronted her right away, just like you confronted Giselle about it right away. You don't care. You are just trying to make this a storyline, and it's landing flat because it's so stupid. And I love that Wendy in the confessional got you together and was like, you know, she just wants to have a problem with me. And she was just like this about that. Because I agree. I'm like, girl, bye. What are we doing? It's weird. It's weirdo behavior. Anyway. And then we find out in this scene, she wants to mention it again. Which we saw later on in the episode. She does indeed do that. And still has talked to literally everyone else about it but Wendy. And then, I mean, maybe next episode we'll see that she finally talks to Wendy about it, but I doubt it. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so then we find out that Giselle wants to celebrate her milestone with her podcast that she has with Robin, Reasonably Shady, the 10 million download. And so she's going to be throwing a celebration later on the episode, and that's where all the women will be at. And this is where, how I mentioned just in the previous scene, that this is where Angel talks to Giselle about it again. Even Giselle complained in the confessional, by the way, in that scene, when Angel was talking to Giselle about it, that like she is so delayed in her responses of things. It's like weird. And I feel like she was saying it without saying it, that she's not a good fit for the show, because she really isn't. But anyway. And so she's talking about this, but we also find out, really, I think we found out in this scene already. No, not in this scene. We'll eventually find out that Robin won't be there. Robin's not going to show up. We'll get into why when we get into that scene. But the other women, which is Tia, who else? Ashley. Sorry. Ashley and Kay, they go to meet her for lunch and she's talking about this. And then we find out from Kay, this is according to Kay, Cookie called her and told her that Chris is now upset because he found out everything that Monique said about him and that Monique is talking mad-ish about him. And she's claiming that Stacy's the one who told Chris. Okay. What would be the reason why would Stacy talk to Chris about this? There wouldn't be. Number one. Number two, Stacy's back with her ex-husband. And they actually look like they have actual chemistry. So, and realistically, I really think that is Stacy's type. Like, she gives that tease for me. As someone who also dabbles in the swirl, interracial relationships of it all. Because I do too. And I can tell when the girlies be into it. She definitely is giving that. And yeah, she's giving that. Chris doesn't seem like it's her type at all. And she's actually mentioned more than once in the confessional that they bumped into each other and they were acquaintances with each other, but they weren't really ever dating each other. And it's just weird that all the women are thinking that she would date him. And I don't see it. It doesn't make sense. I really don't see it. I don't. But anyway. So, and I think Stacy in her responses, she's trying to be respectful. She doesn't want to say, ew, no, I'll never date him. But in real life, I think that's what it is. She was like, I would not date him. Like, he's not my type. And anyway, so Cookie, according to Kay, Cookie did this. And you know what I think really what it is? Cookie and Kay put this together to try to make Cookie wants to be on the show. Cookie wants to be on this show. She wants to be a housewife so bad, so badly, that this is why this is now getting brought up. I don't think any of this is true. It doesn't make any sense. And Kay, I don't know why Kay thought this would do something, but her gotcha moment isn't working for me. And right when I heard it, it didn't even make any sense to me. But anyway, so moving on. That's all I got to say about it. I don't believe it. So next, we see that Monique and Wendy meet for lunch together. And oh my gosh, them two were cute together. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. Side note, Wendy and those finger waves, it did something to me. I'm mad at it. Wendy, scamming and all, she is fine. I love looking at me some Godiva Wendy. I just can't help it. I can't help it. Anyway, so they're recapping their history and how basically we find out from Monique, Wendy actually was the first to reach out to Monique after the fight. And I did not realize that. She reached out to her to see if she was okay. But then afterwards, they didn't really want to do anything else with each other like that because Wendy explains, like, you fought my friend because her and Candace are cool. And so she was like, I can't really be rocking with you when you literally laid your hands on my friend, but they're part of this giant friend group. And so it was just unfortunate that they really never got to really build a relationship because of that happening. And they both pretty much say the same things along those lines. And then we also, I believe Monique then asked her, like, how's Karen? Have you talked to Karen? And this is when Monique finds out that Karen and Wendy are not cool. And she found out through Stacy that they're not cool. And I think, honestly, that might be where Stacy and Wendy became cool with each other was because of that. So, but the thing that's weird about that, and I think I said this during the reunion, who actually told Wendy that first? It was actually Giselle. And I feel like we do not give Giselle enough credit a lot of times because she's a mean girl and she be lying too. But a lot of times she be telling you the truth. And it comes out in a way that's really mean and like lacks warmthness to it. But she don't be lying about it. She's like, yeah, she don't really like you. Like she like that's Giselle. She's just gonna say it and it's not gonna come out in like in a nice bow, you know? Anyway, so then we also find out then that the way they've been finding out things when it comes to Karen is through Karen's friends. And then Wendy mentions Cookie. And child, Monique gave us something that wrapped it up for me in the silver platter of my previous thought, of my previous what I just said. Monique's like, Cookie cannot be trusted. I don't F with Cookie. Cookie will smile in your face and talk crap about you behind your back. So no, I don't mess with Cookie. And I was like, okay. So that told me everything I need to know. I think what really happened was that Kay told Cookie what happened. And Cookie lied and said that Stacy said, because we also know Cookie doesn't like Stacy. So, and that's what Wendy said. And honestly, right then there, I was like, oh, this is what happened. Okay, that's easy. Let's wrap this up. We don't even need to bring this up again because I already know what happened actually. Like, I don't need anything else to come out of this in my mind. I'm like, okay, that wraps it up. Cookie's not credible. Cookie wants to be on this show really, really badly. And she's thirsty. And honestly, when you saw the end of the scene, she was giving all the things I just said. So, okay. Anyway, moving on. Side note, I forgot to mention one more thing. So, the other thing that occurred on this show, sorry, is that Wendy did congratulate Giselle for the milestone, and she really did authentically say that she was proud of Giselle. So I forgot to mention that. And during Monique and Wendy's conversation, they also did talk about how her and Giselle are now in a good place. And Wendy mentioned how, you know, Monique should have a one-on-one conversation with Giselle. So that was the other thing I wanted to mention. I almost forgot about that part, but yep. Oh, one more thing. So Monique was just like, so you and Stacy are really, really cool now? And Wendy's like, yeah, I like Stacy. I think you should give her a chance. And Monique's like, you know, I'm good. I got my good eye on her. Like everyone else does, because yeah, Stacy be lying a little bit. But Monique was respectful, and it wasn't in a way where she's like falling for what Kay had to say. I really, honestly, in that scene, I was curious to know what really does Monique have to thinks about Kay and her just bringing up that news abruptly, because that's to me is really, that was weird. But anyway, moving on. Maybe we'll find out. Okay, so then we see that Stacy and Timo, or Timo, I wanted to call him Timu. They are at the pool because Arbella is swimming. The way she says Arbella, it just like, it cracks me up. But anyway, so they're, I guess she's like at swimming practice, and Tia comes to meet them, and basically Tia is the only one so far that has met Timo. And Timo doesn't really want to be on this show. It's pretty obvious that he doesn't really want to be on this show. If we saw last season, we knew he didn't want to be on this show. And even leading up to the divorce, his face was blurred and everything. Like I don't think he really wants anything to do with this show like that, for real. And so he basically is being friendly, but he's being not really warm about it. He's being a little cold. And Tia's getting what is being put down. She's like, okay, I got it. You really want no parts of this. But before that, Tia tries to invite all three of them invites him to a double date. Well, triple date it was going to be because we find out Tia and Nathaniel, they're going to meet Wendy and Eddie for a date night. And, Tia was like, do you guys want to come? And Timo immediately was like, yeah, no, I'm actually going to be out of town, so I won't be doing that. And Stacy added extra sauce, aka she lied, and said, yeah, he might be gone for a full week. I don't know when he's going to be back. And I'm laughing because that is something that you do when you don't want a follow-up question. Because if you really want to be there, you would say, I'm going to be out of town. And you would just leave it open-ended. For someone that didn't ask additional questions, well, when are you going to be back? She didn't want any of that. I don't think Timo wanted to talk about it anymore. So she shut it down and added more to it so that no more questions would be asked. But why did she do that? Because that last thing that she said, it came around super quickly to bite her in the butt. Anyway, we also find out, it's going to be messy. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so then we see Giselle. She's with Grace, and she's with the event planner, and she's talking about the event. And then this is when we find out that Robin is not going to be at the event because she doesn't want to be filmed. Because she doesn't like how she left the show. Robin, the way you left your show was your fault. So it was your fault that you left the show the way you left the show. Anyway, I do like later on the ladies were shading her for not being there. I love it. Wendy was, oh my gosh, she sent me the way she was shading. She shaded the crap out of her in the confessional. She was just like, are you on the couch? She had her drink. She's like, are you on the couch? And then Jazzy's like, girl, get off the couch and get to the event. I had to bring it up right here and there. Sometimes I'll go in order, and to me, that was sending me. I was like, oh my gosh, Wendy, I cannot with you. Like Wendy this season and last season's when this started, when we started to see the real Wendy. Because I feel like we haven't been really seeing all the real Wendy, and now we're starting to see the real Wendy. And this season with her shade, oh my gosh, she is sending me. I'm like, you are shady boots. And then very, very much towards the end, Giselle makes a point to say, I don't know if I want Stacy to be here because of, the ladies are not getting along with her. But we know everyone's going to be there. Anyway, moving on. All right, so now this going to be possibly be a triple date the double date is now here. We have Tia, Nathaniel. Child, his name's Nathaniel, like my dad. That's my daddy name. Anyway, Wendy and Eddie. And was anyone distracted by Eddie and the line? They left the, how when you go to the barber and they do what they need to do and they line you up, he left the line chalks on his head. Is that a thing in the DMV? Like, is that... I didn't think that was a thing. Like, why are we doing that? But anyway, I was distracted because I was looking at his head the whole entire time. So I had to, rewind the scene multiple times. It's like, why does he have the line up there? But anyway, Wendy was looking good. This is where we start seeing finger rave Wendy. I was like, love it. Love it. And so, Tia... immediately is like, yeah, this is supposed to be a triple date. I invited Stacy and Timu, but said they couldn't come. And, and then Tia makes a point, say, yeah, she said that she felt the most comfortable, most safe inviting, having me meet him versus anyone else. So Tia was being messy. She was. And Wendy, of course, is hurt by this because she's like, but I'm closer to her. What? And so immediately she's like, you know what we're going to do right now? We're going to call her right now. So they called her on speaker, and immediately Stacy feels is on the defense, and she's like, I am so appalled that you would just make it a point to talk about me like that. I regret inviting and having her meet Timu. Honestly, yeah, Wendy, I wish I would have invited you because I am the closest to you, this, that, and this. And Tia is pissed. She's just like, what? Like, what is that? You did say that. Because she tried to deny that she didn't say that. But with Love Girl, you did say that. Stacy and her white lies, they begin caught up. I get why she said it, because if you go back to the scene, Tia was so confused to why she was meeting him first. And I think what Stacy was trying to do is try to build a rapport with Tia because she doesn't really know her like that. And so I think she said that to be, for it to make it make sense, but that wasn't the reason. I think Stacy doesn't like to overly explain things, so instead she just throws out a white lie, and that way it's just done. And then in most cases, people don't question white lies. I'm not someone who white lies that much anymore. I used to. I ain't gonna hold you. I used to white lie a lot, to the point where no one ever knew I was white lying though. Because I knew my lies, and I would ride it out to the end. You would never catch me slipping with it. But I stopped doing that because therapy has taught me that I should just explain things, or if I don't feel like explaining it, just don't. I feel like when you do that, you have trouble with boundaries. It's a boundary thing. So instead of having to over-explain, you just throw out a lie, so it's done. The conversation's done. Let's move on to the next thing. Why am I telling on myself? I don't do it anymore. I promise you I don't do it anymore. I don't. I did a lot. I used to white lie a lot in my, really in my early 20s. I still sometimes put sauce on stories, but not really. My life is dramatic enough where I don't have to. Younger me used to think I needed to, but then when my life was lifing, I was like, I don't even need to add nothing to it. It's seasoned. It's already seasoned. Anyway. So from there, Tia, and I'm glad Wendy made it known that they were on speakerphone. And so Tia was just like, well, no, that's not what you said, yada, yada, yada. And Tia immediately is pissed. And Wendy's just like, wow. Because we also find out Stacy did not keep up with her lie about him leaving. It turned out he just came back. He left and he came back. He just got back. And Tia's like, you said he was going to be leaving. And that's not necessarily what she said. That's what he said. And she added sauce to it. And I'm just kind of like, instead of just being honest saying he don't want to come. He could just say he don't want to come. But that doesn't look good on her part. But it doesn't really look good for him either. So, because he really doesn't want to be on the show. That's all it is. But anyway. But now there's a whole entire problem. And then from there, after they hang up, we talk about Angel. And because Tia brought up Angel and how Angel feels. And Wendy's like, I can't with this lady. And then she kind of said what she said, what I said back during when we were talking about Angel. Yeah, that's what she said. I'm not going to keep going over the Angel thing because I'm over her as much as Wendy is. Anyway, moving on. All right, so now we're at the event. And once everyone shows up, we see everyone. We see Vivian. Hey, Vivian. We see, who else do we see? We see Cookie's there. We also see Jazzy's there. Yeah, so a lot of the folks from DMV are there. And we see Charisse. Shout out to It's Rocks. I need a thing because she used to just do this every single time she would see her. Like, but thank God I didn't talk to her. She was just there. She was just in the building. And anyway, so Tia and Stacy. So everyone's getting there, and Angel, again, I mentioned she went to talk to Giselle. And then Stacy says hi to Vivian, and she's like, it's been some time. And for those who are wondering why Stacy was weird towards Vivian, we find out during the reunion they fell out. And then we also, after the reunion, they were going back and forth on social media over the whole story of it all and the dresses of it all. And the lies of it all. Because I'm sorry, Stacey, I believe Vivian when it comes to this. Because Vivian has no reason to lie about certain things when it comes to this. But anyway. So, yeah. So she says hi to her. She gives her a hug. And then she just like does this to her hair. She comes and does this to her hair. Stacey, you are a touchy-feely girl. That is a lot. I see why Giselle don't want to be close to you. Because you are a touchy-feely kind of girl. But we find out from Stacy that wasn't even out of love. That was not shade. I was like, girl, what? She's like, I just pat you on the head and move on. I'm like, what the hell? Stacy. Oh my God. I cannot with Stacy. I can't. Oh my gosh. And so from there, the ladies give their reaction to Robin not being there. Ashley was the only one that had like a heartfelt message of how she wished she would have been there, but everyone else was just like, whatever. And then immediately, Stacy's like, you know what? I need to, you know what, Tia, let's have a conversation. Tia, Wendy, let's have a conversation. So they're supposed to go on the side, and as soon as they go on the side, you see Giselle, Ashley, and Kay follow right behind them like they're the Supremes. Like it was Destiny's Child. It was like one sound, one band, one sound. They just all went over there. And I was like, they didn't even invite y'all. Like, what the hell? And I was like, okay, now y'all, this is where I'm like, they're producing a scene and it's not good. Like that part was weird to me. I don't know if anyone else thought that was weird, but that was weird as hell to me. Because if that would have been me and I said, and I like just said, let's talk on the side, and then they would have came and followed, I would have like, I'm like, I said them three. Y'all, I said them. Y'all can stay back there. Be messy somewhere else. But I know Stacy is trying to get the classy demure side of things, so she's not doing all that. But side note, why did Angel in her confessional try to say that Stacy wasn't being classy because she wasn't putting all her business out there about her business? Find some business of your own, Angel, okay? That's so weird. Anyway, so Tia tries to get Stacy together, and Stacy just gives her nothing. Nothing. This back and forth between Tia and Stacy to me was a draw. Because Tia did get her together, but Stacy still gave her nothing. So it was given, Tia was talking to a wall. And I'm just like, I love it. I love it. I love it. Random side note. So one of my really, really close friends, I think I always talk about them on this channel. but they're going away to see their family for Thanksgiving, and they might have to see some problematic family members. And I was like, well, don't give them anything. And they're like, that's hard to do. I'm like, I know, but that's the power of you doing that. Like, I'm like, it's art of war. Like, what are we doing? And he's just like, oh my, okay. He was like, okay. I was like, I don't think they were expecting for me to say art of war. I am always repping my fire sign. I don't act like it. I'm very much don't start and I won't be none. But if you're bringing it to me, I'm always ready. And I feel like for another side note. So whenever I have my hair different colors, it definitely highlights my personality more. And the red has been given feisty. I've been extremely feisty lately with this red hair. And I've been red more than once this year. And I think that's the reason. I just been feeling that's the energy I have right now. So we're projecting outside. I wasn't really blonde. Girls want to have fun this year. I had a little bit of it in me, but it just was never giving that. So anyway, so Tia pretty much got nowhere with that. And then Kay took it upon herself to then mention the whole thing about what Cookie said, this, that, and this, and Stacey's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I would have said the same thing too. I was like, girl, what? It makes no sense at all. And like the whole entire time when Kay's doing this, you could tell she's so proud of herself. She thinks she's doing something. She's like, yeah, you did this, and that. It's like she's talking like that and everything. And Wendy's just like, you know, I don't know for that to be true all the way. And then she's like, wait, what? What? And you could tell the girls were not happy that she's defending Stacey. But she was just like, well, first of all, why are we talking about Monique when Monique's not here? We should talk to Monique about this. That's number one. Number two, Monique and Cookie don't even like each other. So we're going to believe this. We're going to believe the source says Cookie. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like basically Wendy said everything that I already said in this review. I was like, yeah, that makes no sense. And so Kay is still trying to project that Stacey's the type of woman who will just, you know, is that type of woman. I don't even know what that type means. The type that would be with someone who's divorced while she herself is also divorced? That type of woman? Because she said this earlier in her episode that Stacey's that type of woman. And I don't even know what that means. Like, can someone in the comments explain what that means? Because I don't know what that means. But anyway, so Kay is trying to go back and forth with Stacey, and Stacey eats her right up. And right when she's like, that's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And then somewhere out of nowhere, Cookie's like, you do know what I'm talking about. And like, I'm sorry to make fun of her, but she just was doing too much. And then, actually what happened was, I'm sorry, but she was doing too much. So what happened after this, basically after Wendy made her point, Stacey was like, that part. And she basically wasn't pointing at anyone. She was just saying that part. Like similar like to what anyone would do, that part. But when she did this, her finger happened to be pointing right at Cookie as she was approaching that. She's like, don't you put your finger in my face. Don't you put your finger in my face. And Stacey, she was like, she was like, and I'll point my finger wherever I want. Because the thing is, like, she basically did not address pointing in her face. She's like, first of all, I didn't point, because she did point at her face. She was like, I will point my finger wherever I want to point my finger at. She's like, stop pointing your finger. And she was like, I was like, oh my God, Stacey, I cannot. And Cookie got so so wrapped up and so mean that she got escorted out of the party. I was like, flawless victory. And then Kay came up for round 2. And she's like, and Stacy, now she's activated. She's like, you have a problem with me so bad. When you don't have a problem with me, you're like at a 0. And now you're at a 2. You're at a 2 now. Happy to see you, Boo. Happy to see you, Boo. And then Kay is so infuriated. She's like, I would never leave my husband around you. And then that's when the mic dropped. She was like, you don't have a husband. I was like, yes. And then as a to be continued. None of these women can even handle Stacy. None of them. I think the only person that can maybe handle a Stacy is a Wendy, and I love that they're on the same side, so it's not even going to happen. And maybe a Tia, because Tia looks like she got in her, but I don't know how you handle someone who gives unbothered. Because all the time she gave those reads and like handled it and shaded them and everything, she was unbothered the whole entire time. No vein popping or nothing else. Everyone else was like, "Ugh!" And she's just like, anyway, that does conclude the episode for today. I know this is a much longer review. You already know when I really like an episode, I just talk and talk and talk and talk. But anyway, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. I will see you next time. Bye.